Makeshift's June 2021 issue is entitled OMNIBILITY. It's about increasing accessibility of your products, services, and experiences for people with disabilities, and in doing so, improving the lives of everybody. And in the spirit of showing OMNIBILITY in action, we've created this audio edition of Makeshift. Also, anytime we mention facts, figures, or innovations, we'll make sure to link them in the written report. Accessibility isn't just an opportunity, it's an imperative. No ifs, no buts. First Me Too, then Black Lives Matter, now society's on the precipice of an omnibility revolution, with consumers championing brands that bust down their barriers to entry. Try tweaking your existing products or launching brand spanking new services that enrich life for everyone, whether they're living with or without disabilities. So why now? For all its gut-wrenching misery, the pandemic has been a salient reminder of just how easily personal freedoms can be cut off with a second's notice. But change is afoot. While global business leaders are nailing their colours to the mast, at a virtual grassroots level, influencers with disabilities are providing glimpses into their everyday, redefining normality for millions of followers. Beyond just Instagram, brands are winning over consumers by weaving cochlear implants and other assistive tech into their marketing campaigns. No matter which hemisphere your brand inhabits, governments everywhere are responding to public calls for greater accessibility. In the US, Biden is funneling over $12 billion into disability services. Calls for accessibility standards are ringing loud and clear in Latin America, and the EU's new and improved Web Accessibility Directive hopes to narrow the digital divide, with mid-20s deadlines for the public and private sector. Beat them to it and show consumers you're a step ahead. There's a special place in consumers' hearts for brands that preempt government action. Having sluiced society in hand sanitizer and festooned doctors in couture PPE, consumers now expect brands to muck in when the going gets tough. Indirectly, this has bolstered a value-driven economy, with 54% of consumers now actively supporting brands whose purpose missions align with their own values. Spectacular advancements in technology, think haptic design, voice tech, and image recognition, have the potential to radically level the playing field for consumers like never before. And we're not just talking about futuristic headsets which can read and express a user's thoughts, although more on that to come, but savvy apps and AR experiences that connect people of all abilities. Of course, in solving one problem, some new tech can create others, namely accessibility issues, so make sure you practice OMNIBILITY throughout the entire design process, from post-it to product. Now let's move on to some of the opportunities that OMNIBILITY presents. Nearly 1 in 5 people live with a disability. Let that sink in. And almost everyone will experience disability in some form during their life. As consciousness rises and society starts to groan under the weight of an aging population, the demand for accessible design will skyrocket. Don't wait around for niche brands to pick up the slack. Bring consumers' lived experiences into your brainstorms. Start small, a Q&A on social perhaps, or make a splash by erecting an accessibility board. And in the end, everybody wins. Switching up your portfolio to be more inclusive by design will score top marks with value-driven consumers, and can inadvertently make life easier for all people, including the non-disabled. But don't just take our word for it. DHL's social media chat feature, originally introduced to help less mobile consumers update drivers on accessibility points, promises to streamline the delivery process for all. Similarly, Apple Watch's assistive touch technology enables everyone to control the device with a simple flick of a wrist. Again, serendipity at its finest. And who can resist the warm, fuzzy feeling that comes from supporting a do-good brand? OMNIBILITY isn't just an opportunity to broaden your demographic, it's about strengthening brand values. Pick something simple like Voltarel's easy-to-open cap, or look beyond the perfunctory and plug the gap for accessible luxury and entertainment experiences. Our suggestions: get a fresh set of eyes to scrutinize your portfolio. Your OMNIBILITY solution might be right under your nose. Now let's move on to those futuristic headsets we promised you earlier. Tech startup Cognition is on a mission to give a voice to people rendered mute by severe motor neuron disease. The Cognition One headset has patches which track electrical signals in the wearer's brain, enabling users to navigate the device's internal interface. Users can pick from a selection of preset phrases or script their own responses to questions, which are then presented as text on the device's outward-facing screen. Or look to the gaming industry. In February 2021, Microsoft launched a new program to improve the accessibility of Xbox and PC video games. Amateur game developers can send in their prototypes to be professionally tested against the company's Xbox Accessibility Guidelines, a framework it developed with its gaming and disability community. Those who submit their creations for testing receive information on inclusive design, help from non-profits, and tips from experts in the field. Let's look at consumer care products. A new first-of-its-kind package designed from Degree Deodorant tries to address some of the challenges with typical deodorants. Degree Inclusive, which beta launched in April 2021, has a hook so it can be hung up and the rest of the package can be pulled down, a magnetic closure, and an extra large applicator so only a single swipe is needed. It also has a braille label, enabling someone who's blind or low vision to find it in a crowded medicine cabinet. Let's look at a web-based solution to increase accessibility online. To coincide with World Autism Awareness Day on the 2nd of April 2021, UAE-based Etisalat launched an autism-friendly web extension. After downloading, users can reorganize information, change color modes and fonts, block advertising, and hide irrelevant background images, with the aim of reducing the overwhelm that's often associated with web browsing. Users can also contribute to the open source code underpinning the extension via the Etisalat website. Now on to the hospitality industry. Starbucks is no stranger to inclusive design, but its latest effort, a store staffed by and made for people with disabilities, is a class act. Tucked inside Seoul's National University Dental Hospital, it features contactless speech-to-text voice recognition at the till, a braille menu, and digital signage to help consumers keep track of their orders. Each staff member received customized training and a basic course in Korean Sign Language before opening. For our final innovation, we'll leave you with a sensorial cookbook that brings the kitchen to life. The Nestle-owned culinary brand Maggi has teamed up with Brazil-based Dorina Neville Foundation to launch a sensorial culinary guide designed for blind and low-vision people. The 130-page compendium includes relief illustrations of meals, braille text, buttons which emit the sounds of cooking processes, and QR codes allowing for audio transcriptions of each page. Once restrictions are lifted, the guide will be made available to those assisted by the Foundation. Before we wrap up, we'd like to share 5 easy ways to apply OMNIBILITY today. Firstly, educate yourself on inclusive language. Create a style guide that colleagues can refer to when addressing disabilities. Refer to the NCDJ's guide for inspiration. Next, check out the Disability Equality Index to see the benefits that can be unlocked by practicing OMNIBILITY and how inclusion can drive business success. Also, share this virtual Cards Against Humanity game with your colleagues, a fun, rapid-fire way to remind your team of the full spectrum of disabilities. Also, listen to Say My Meme, in which a pair of blind and sighted podcast hosts explain popular internet memes. It's funny and poignant. And finally, upgrade your company's website to be more accessible. Try Deek's free diagnostic tool to see if you can make some quick wins. If you enjoyed this issue of Makeshift but aren't subscribed, head to www.trendwatching.com and sign up for all our free trend updates, including Innovation of the Day, where we deliver a meaningful innovation to you every day from brands both big and small making waves in their industry.